IQ. He understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do.
Fight. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. Gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy. Can Crawford win a close decision? I could never win a close decision.
Crawford has the same, but I just feel like Crawford's ring eye coordination is better and he has more fire in the body left. He wants it more, in my opinion.
Lennox Lewis explains why Terence Crawford has a strong chance of defeating Canelo, emphasizing that the matchup depends more on strategy and mindset than pure physical strength. He points out that Crawford's exceptional boxing intelligence, precise movement, and adaptability could give him a clear advantage. Lewis also believes that size will not play a major role, as Crawford's smart tactics and ring awareness help him control and counter opponents effectively, which is why he feels Crawford could outthink and outperform Canelo in the fight.
He's got incredible talent, incredible IQ. He understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do to stay at the top and be at the top. He moves very well. He's a very elusive mover, and his work rate is high.
I won't ask you who's going to win the fight, because I know it's a question you've probably been asked a million times, but I will ask you, do you think this fight goes the distance, or do you think this fight ends inside the distance?
Interesting. Really an interesting fight to look at.
Coach Bernie's evaluation highlights what makes Terence Crawford such a rare and dangerous competitor. In his view, Crawford is more than just a skilled puncher. He is a fighter whose accuracy and timing make every shot highly damaging and difficult for opponents to handle. Bernie points out that Canelo Alvarez, even with his impressive achievements, has not encountered a boxer with Crawford's blend of hand speed, precision, and natural punching power. By describing Crawford's hands as bricks, he is emphasizing the surprising strength Crawford possesses even while competing in higher weight classes.
A fight is always highly anticipated, and one this magnitude, you know what I'm saying? I think Canelo is hyped too, because they know that Bud brings a different element. And the guys that he been fighting is now superstars. Bud is a superstar. It's a mega fight. It's an underdog fight, and like I said, I'm sure they anticipate, he has trouble with movers and slick boxers and stuff like that. So they're trying to see how he deals with that, Bud fans is, understandable. Canelo got the power, he got the experience, and, he's one of the faces of boxing. And so, it just breeds anticipation, want to see somebody do something great. And I think that's what everybody mostly counting on. It's a lot of hate, though. A lot of people want to see us lose, and the real ones want to see us win. You know what I mean? But, all in all,
This matchup has generated huge excitement among fans, with the boxing world eager to see how Canelo, known for his strength and counter-punching ability, would deal with a fighter like Crawford, who is elusive, unpredictable, and highly skilled technically. Crawford's footwork, speed, and tactical intelligence make him a difficult challenge to solve, and unlike many of Canelo's previous opponents, he would not remain stationary or wait for counters. The fight is not only a clash of reputations but also a battle of contrasting styles, and many fans believe Canelo may finally be facing an opponent capable of testing him in every aspect of the sport.
Well, Bud Crawford just hits hard anyway. He got fucking bricks for hands. You know what I mean? He got baseball mitts. His hands is as big as a baseball mitt. So, then he's a sharp puncher. So you got to understand that Canelo hasn't fought a sharp puncher. Them guys wasn't sharp punchers. Magia, Berlanga, the guys, they not sharp punchers. You know what I'm saying? So when you got it's a difference with the speed and the velocity that they're coming with. You know what I mean? If you can understand that, the quickness of the punches, the sharpness of the punches, these guys, you can see all their punches coming. You ain't going to be able to see all Bud punches coming. You ain't going to be able to see his punches coming, for real.
They have like one common opponent, Amir Khan?
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you think the difference is? Obviously, you've seen a highlight reel with with Canelo.
Amir Khan, having shared the ring with both fighters during his career, offers a valuable viewpoint on the potential matchup. While he acknowledges Canelo's achievements and abilities, Khan feels that Crawford has a stronger desire to make this fight happen. According to him, Crawford's determination and competitive drive could become a decisive factor. Khan also believes Crawford still carries greater energy, sharpness, and hunger at this stage of his career compared to Canelo. Although Canelo has achieved remarkable success, years of competing at the highest level may have added physical wear. Khan views Crawford as the fresher and more focused fighter, arguing that this mental and physical edge could ultimately swing the fight in his favor, because victory often comes down to who is willing to give everything to win, and in his opinion, that fighter is Crawford.
Great timing, great feints, moves well, whereas Crawford has the same, but I just feel like Crawford's ring eye coordination is better, and he has more fire in the body left. He wants it more, in my opinion. Whereas Canelo, in that last fight against the Cuban guy he fought, he just seems to me that that fire has just gone. Like, he was just getting the win and moving around and enjoying himself, which he can do, because at the end of the day, the guy, he's already cemented his legacy, so he can do that. So yeah, I got Crawford winning that fight.
And when you sparred him, when you were in the same camp with Bomac, what was it like? You have any good stories about sparring him since you were an opponent?
See, when I fought him as a fight, I didn't know what to expect. But then obviously, when I sparred with him, I would try different things to really how would I be able to beat a guy like him? And I was working on different things. And the guy is very tricky. He's a guy that always keeps on adapting your style and also keep getting better and better as the fight goes on. So yeah, he's a very, very good fighter. I do like him because he came to my camp 2-3 times, drove up to spend like 2-3 weeks with me, just give me some advice and be there with me and win with me and train with me. And so yeah, that's why them little things go a long way for me, and that's why I'll always support him and push him.
Stephen Breadman Edwards offers a grounded perspective on the situation. He explains that Canelo's decision to spar Jaron Ennis, another talented and dangerous fighter, is a smart step but mostly symbolic. According to Edwards, sparring is very different from an actual fight, as boxers use it to test strategies, adjust to certain styles, or sometimes send a message to future opponents. In Canelo's case, the sparring sessions may be intended to create the impression that he is prepared for Crawford's approach. Breadman stresses that while sparring can provide helpful lessons, it cannot recreate the pressure, intensity, or unpredictability of a championship bout. Under the bright lights with millions watching, the circumstances change completely, and Crawford's abilities cannot be fully simulated in training. Edwards believes Canelo sparring Ennis should be viewed as mental preparation and a way to shape public perception rather than clear evidence that he will overcome Crawford.
And don't do nothing in camp and then go look like $1 million in the fight. That's why fighters spend the kind of money they spend on sparring partners, because getting the look or simulating the intensity of how a fight is going to be is how you prepare for a fight. And the most important part of camp is sparring. So it didn't make me say that Canelo was going to win the fight, but it did make me say, damn, he's taking this fight serious, and that's a real good look. I respect the fact that he went out and got the best possible sparring he could find for Crawford to win this fight. I even respect when he did it, because if he would have got Boots early in camp, Boots would have probably beat his butt. You know what I mean? When you first come to camp and you're not sharp. So he got him a few weeks in the camp where maybe, what's how many weeks left for the fight? About 3 weeks left for the fight. This usually your peak time. So he got him about 3 weeks left in the camp so he can handle the work. Because again, you've been up to Philly and you've seen the work. Boots don't have bad days in the gym. He stays in the gym all the time. Yeah. So like, you could just get him off the streets and he'll go 10 or 12 rounds in the gym. He don't have bad days. I'm like, and I'm not just bragging. I'm not bragging about a kid that I don't train or he's not my son. I'm just telling the truth. Like, I haven't seen him have like an off day in the gym in like 10 years. You know how sometimes a guy don't look good and you be like, oh, okay, he not doing his best. He really don't have them days.
And
you know what I mean?
And the crazy part about it is he does more than 3-minute rounds and he never sits down. Like, never.
The significance of Canelo sparring Jaron Ennis cannot be overlooked. This move was clearly intended to mimic the style and challenges he expects from Crawford in the ring. Ennis, like Crawford, is quick, versatile, and able to switch stances effectively. By working with Ennis, Canelo likely aimed to get a sense of the rhythm and unpredictability that Crawford brings. Still, as many experts note, no sparring partner can fully replicate a real fight. Crawford's timing, in-fight adaptability, and distinctive rhythm are qualities only he can provide. While Canelo might gain some insights from this experience, it is primarily about building confidence and demonstrating to fans that he is taking the challenge seriously, rather than discovering a guaranteed path to victory.
Moves, as Canelo's maybe not had as much experience with that since moving to 168. Usually he's the smaller guy fighting some of the bigger guys. But that's not all this is. This is a message that Canelo is looking to replicate exactly what Terence Crawford has in his arsenal, has in his tool set, because everybody has wanted to see the Boots Ennis versus Terence Crawford fight because it's a stylistic matchup that is very interesting. Both guys fight out of both stances. That's right. Boots will fight out of southpaw and orthodox. Both guys are very good using their defense to create offense. Boots, one of the best at Philly shelling, catch countering, being able to do it out of both stances, has a beautiful check hook out of southpaw. As orthodox fighters throw their left hook, he comes over the top with his. And why would Canelo be looking for someone that could throw a beautiful lead hook and a backhand as a counter punch, rolling with their defense back to their offense? Oh wait, because that's what Terence Bud Crawford does so well. Boots is explosive. He's got great counter punch timing. He's got good awareness. His feet are good. He can walk you onto punches. He can lead the dance going first, not just looking for his counter punches, but underrated, I think, in his aggression to lead the exchanges. This is a perfect get for Canelo. And I'm not even trying to play the one side or the other. Canelo fans, Crawford fans, you're going to think whatever you want to think. But the reality is, getting this kind of sparring is a massive deal for Canelo. It's going to give him probably the best look you could get for Terence Bud Crawford outside of sparring Terence Bud Crawford. I can't understate how important even just a couple of days working with Jaron Boots Ennis is going to be for Canelo, just to see a bit of the tempo, a bit of that switching of stance, because let's be honest, there's not many guys that Canelo has fought that have fought out of both stances and done it as fluidly as Boots Ennis or as Bud Crawford will do in there.
A key concern for Canelo Alvarez is the decline in his speed and mobility. Observers have pointed out that in his 30s, Canelo has slowed down on his feet, which could be a serious weakness against a fighter as quick and agile as Crawford. Traditionally, Canelo has relied on precise timing, counterpunching, and cutting off the ring, but as he ages, questions about his stamina and movement are growing. If he cannot match Crawford's constant angles and fluid motion, he risks chasing an opponent he cannot catch. This presents a significant tactical challenge, as relying solely on power won't be enough if Canelo cannot position himself effectively. Fans and analysts are closely watching, curious to see if Crawford's youth and agility might exploit this potential gap in Canelo's game.
Oh, he's holding back. You can tell. People are saying his legs, they look slower than usual, and Canelo has always been someone who's always had very slow feet. Even when he was down at 154 pounds. Something that plagued him throughout the course of his career is he's just had very slow feet, you know, like cement sometimes on them. That's one of the weaknesses of Canelo, and obviously now he's, how old is Canelo? 35 years old, 34, 35. They're going to be, they were slow in your mid-20s. They're definitely going to be slow now in your mid-30s. Before we follow up on that, just have a look there really, really quickly on screen. Please, if y'all could, hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. It literally takes like 2 seconds. We're only a couple of subs off 26,300. I want to get 30k. Please, if you could help me out, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, Canelo's always had slow feet. But I think this is the bigger, I think a lot of people are more worried about this now because he's going to be in there. Essentially, he's going to be in there against someone who is really, I mean, it's obviously Crawford's last fight was at 154 pounds, but like, he's really a welterweight. You know, he did look a little bit undersized at 154. He's going to look completely undersized at 168. But the size difference, the size, you know, thing out of the equation, the speed difference is going to be vast because Crawford's always had good feet. He's always had fast feet. And if you think Canelo's feet look slow against someone like William Skull, a big, bulky 168 pounder who at the end of the day was just running around the ring, he's going to look even slower against Crawford. And a lot of people are saying, just based upon that training footage, oh, it's now a 50-50 fight, you know, I'm running with Terence Crawford, or that's who I'm going to go with.
Analysts warn that although Crawford's talent is impressive, moving up in weight to face a naturally larger opponent like Canelo presents a significant challenge. Canelo has successfully competed in higher weight classes, beating champions known for their size, strength, and durability. His experience at these levels gives him confidence and resilience that Crawford has yet to fully demonstrate. While Crawford may hold the edge in speed and tactical skill, it will be tested against Canelo's formidable strength and power.
This is what scares me going into this Terence Crawford fight. These are the guys Canelo's typically fighting. This is his last opponent, William Scull. William Scull is far from a great opponent. When we're talking about sheer size and strength, Canelo is just way more built and used to taking on larger guys and overpowering them. Look at William Scull. This guy is jacked. He's huge, man. And that makes me think, like, if Canelo has been taking punches from guys like this, I'm not saying William Scull in particular, but guys like William Scull, the size of William Scull, and he's been dropping them, stopping them, beating them around the ring, overpowering, over-muscling, just everything, physically demanding over them. That makes me think, man, Terence Crawford, I don't know what, you gonna have to come with some heat, dog. Look at Canelo. This guy is half the size of William Scull. There's nothing cut about him. There's nothing popping out, bulging. There's nothing. Look at this. This is insanity. That's why I'm really like, dude, I don't know. Canelo could go in there and walk through Terence Crawford like a hot knife through butter. That is definitely on the table here. He gonna have to be really crafty, really savvy, and have to put on some amazing work from the outside. If he tries to sit there and walk through Canelo, he gonna hit a brick wall, dog. If guys built like this ain't walking through Canelo, even when Canelo looks like this, Terence Crawford ain't doing it, man. I gotta be honest.
Regardless of the outcome, this fight has already secured its place in boxing history. The excitement is heightened by the fact that it will be streamed on Netflix, reaching a massive global audience. Millions of fans will witness two of the sport's top fighters giving their all. This event goes beyond sports. It's a cultural moment. Rarely does boxing present a matchup where legacies, styles, and ambitions align so seamlessly.
This is huge news for boxing, UFC, and Netflix. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez will officially be on September the 13th on Netflix. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is, of course, the UFC, TKO, recently acquired their new strange boxing model with Turkey Al-Sheikh and Dana White promoting it. And this actually will be on Netflix. So for some context, if you don't know, the UFC are currently under negotiations with a new TV deal. And the rumors for a very long time were that of Netflix. But it doesn't look like they're going down that route anymore. Or at least it sounded like Netflix wanted a total package where they would get the major UFC fights and the major boxing fights as well. Or potentially they didn't even want the UFC fights and they just wanted a couple of these sort of events. Regardless, Dana White is officially the promoter for it, which I do believe is still bizarre. I still really think that's super bizarre. And the fact that they have quite opposing views in Turkey Al-Sheikh and Dana White, to be honest. Not in everything, but in how events are run. Dana White doesn't even like stadiums, first and foremost. Turkey Al-Sheikh loves making as big of a splash as he possibly can. As fights go, for the casuals, this one is as good as it gets. It really is. Let me know what you think. As always, keep it casual.
Wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more.